Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm just checking the quality of the stream. Can everyone hear me okay? Good morning, Tao. Does the stream seem stable to you? I'm getting multiple things telling me multiple different things. You can hear me. Fantastic. Then I'm going to ignore the thing currently that says that it's slightly unstable. Of all my many boxes, everything's like, "You good, fam?" And then one is like, it's going a bit south, and I'm like, "Is it?" Awesome. Good morning, Penguin Queen. Let's switch this to the After Effects screen. I'm glad that it's fine. Cool. Sound off in chat if it does start to go a bit south. Can't stay for long. Supposed to hop into a meeting. Cool. That's fair. Thank you for joining. For just, just to say hi. That's always fun. Have a good meeting as well. It's getting crunch time. Enroll for good headquarters. I know everyone's starting to feel it a little bit. We'll get there. It's gonna be great. It's always gonna be this way a couple of weeks before the event. But it's super exciting. 2 weekends to Halloween. Things are happening. They're happening very quickly now. It's like, well, gotta have this done. This is, today is my deadline to have all of this done, so if I don't finish it on stream, I will just be scrabbling afterwards. The stream will be going until 12 today, because I have, promised to be assisting someone. Promised to help someone with some other stuff. But I reckon we'll get this done in 2 hours. One of them is already done. I think we'll get this one properly done, and then I've just got to fix up the other one that I started on stream with the witch and the werewolf. So it's a lot to get through. I haven't touched this a lot because I wanted to do it on stream. I have done a few things. I have added some things outside the window. Let's see how it's buffering. We'll give it a little buffer as I talk. You may notice that there's a little ghost. He just flew by. You may not notice, he's supposed to be subtle. And then there's this pumpkin. But what's this? There's a bird inside it. I figured out a way of getting the pumpkin bird into this one as well. So we've got the ghost and the pumpkin, and we've got, obviously, that we popped in the witch and the werewolf, so they're all here. They're all outside the window. And I'm very happy with this. So I think that was all I added. Oh, I've added some movement on the wings. On the dice as well, because they didn't move before. So now the wings flap. There we go, and we're about to loop. There's a ghost. Just floats upside down. I was trying to put him in, and then I realised, wait, it's a ghost. He could be at any angle. So he's upside down. Yeah, I thought it would be really nice because I just want to allude to them all in all of them. That I've found a way. And having them on a cloud I think works. I might do that in the witch and the werewolf one as well, but recolor it for that color palette. Because I don't want them to draw your eye away from the main attraction, if that makes sense, but I would just like them to all be present. Whether that's a silhouette. So they might be a silhouette in that one, I haven't decided. But apart from those differences, basically the same as last week. So we have to sort out Count Burbington. He's got to pour the wine, which is, as we've established last week, is going to be a very interesting thing. It's going to be full of trial and error, but as I said I didn't want to do it on stream, I was like, no, I think I should do that on stream. Let's just find out. Because if it doesn't work, like if I ended up not being able to do it, I feel like some people may be a bit confused as to why I didn't. So, you know, if I get it done, that's fantastic. But if I don't, you're all here to witness the spectacular failure and the compromising solution. Because, yeah, time is a bit of a factor now. I've also still got my notes from last week that the other items on the table need a shake and the smoke should come out of the vent, because I really liked those suggestions that you guys gave me. So thank you. And we'll be adding those in. So I'm gonna just get straight to that. I'm gonna go with the count, because that's the bit I've been putting off for a while. So to make this easy on myself, maybe the first lightning strike, which he has a little bit of a jump by already. That's when we empty this glass. Let's have a look at how this glass is built, and I might have to just jump in Illustrator, but I think... oh gosh, where is it? Where is this glass? There it is, wine. I think it should be okay. I'm going to separate the wine from the glass, so that it's easier for me to, like, there's less attachments when it comes to the wine spilling. So I'm just gonna remove that, and then I'm gonna name this glass so that I know what the difference is. There we go, and then that should now be nice and separate. Cool. So there should be some animation before that, but before I get there, I'm gonna just dive in, because these are the bits that are gonna be the most complicated. So the jump, again, the jump I think is a bit too high, so I'm gonna just take this down a little bit, and then I can adjust it in the other ones afterwards. And we're gonna need this arm to probably swing round, and that's what does that. And I think it would be good if the body also swung round. Like that. And then one of the feet, so it looks like he's really struggling to hold his balance there. Ooh. So let's get that like up here. And then I think I'm gonna want that just a bit of a curve more than a straight, because very rarely do these things move in a straight line. We'll give that a little bit of a curve. Let's get those let's get that back up, because that's gone for some reason. There we go. And then this foot, let's control, it's got the bounce. We're going to try and keep his toes on the floor. So first I'm going to bring out a ruler so that I know where the floor is. And then we rotate, and then we've got that, so he's coming up but not too much. We're going straight into it this time. There's way less small talk. Way less me procrastinating. It's like, yeah, we're gonna move this bird. And I think his neck is gonna need to have a bit of a move. Whap! Yep, that line is just going straight over his shoulder. We'll work on his expression as well, because I don't think he's going to be too happy about this. Whap! But before that, I think the neck, like I think really let's just go full hog. Now, yeah, the collar's okay. I might have to move the collar separately as well. And then we'll bring him back down. Actually, it shouldn't be longer to go down. It should be at least the same, if not faster. And then he'll come down a bit extra and then right himself. And that will give him a little wobble. And we'll pop that back without changing my curve. There we go. So this swings up and down. Alright, yeah. And I think on the down, the body should probably go down a bit so that he can straighten up. So I'm going to also move the position. So he gets his... Yeah, so we get that nice bend in his knees. Because I think that will help. Wow! And then after that we can return him to where he was at the start. Which I think is, yeah, where the foot already is. Cool, so there's our basic move. It would be nice to give him a bit of a flappy wing, but I don't think it works with the wine glass being in there. I'll come back to that maybe. Okay, now let's try and get this wine moving like liquid. There's going to be a little bit of an element of kind of faking it and hand drawing it. Let's see, so in 5 frames time, let's come right in here. In 5 frames time, I think the liquid is gonna be, yeah, we're gonna have this bit come out and this side's gonna come all the way down. I like the top of it being kind of straight, but I think that like this bit should have a bit of a, almost like a drop to it. Could you see the arm behind flapping? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Okay, that's not looking too bad. I'm gonna just... I think at this point I don't want it out the glass. But I do want to adjust how like straight the line is. So it goes just kind of like that, and then we can add maybe some like residual splashes after I've done this main shape. Okay. So now I need to just get it out of the glass. Okay. Liquid's always very complicated. Okay. So we've got this. There's going to be a lot of guessing on my part for the start. I'm going to take this all the way down. And yeah, this is the point where I think the majority of the liquid has left the glass. We'll see, because this might be a tad too quick, but... Morning, Jupiter Spire. How are you? We're just looking at animating some liquid. Okay. I think that's okay. Interesting. I think that's going well. Sleepy. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't change my tags. Oh well. I'm gonna just add them now very quickly. Cozy. Oh, if the keyboard will work. No? Okay, well fine. We won't add tags then. If it's gonna be a butt about it. And then, okay, so the wine is obviously is parented so it moves with the glass, and I think this is the point where I no longer want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer, and I'm going to unparent it so it isn't connected. I know, the Count, he's losing his precious wine. And then we're going to continue animating the path from here. And yeah, it's basically just going to come over here. Okay, so we just got to make sure we keep to the rules of the wine glass. I think I'm going to want this a bit higher. And then let's change that shape because it's got a very sharp edge for some reason there. It's a little bit of an odd shape. Okay, I think I just want one more of it in the wine glass. I think it's just a bit... I don't know if I'm being too picky. I think that can be fine. I'm going to continue. If I still feel that way after I'm done, I can always add one more frame. Let's give it a bit more of a shape as it moves. And then we're going to need to do a lovely splash. Those are always interesting. Though I feel more confident doing a splash than I do this descent. Because there's more of a formula to it. And we've got the floor. So in the next 3 frames, let's bring this down here. Yeah, I think that will work. Let's put some more points in here and make them sharp. But we're going to need that round first. Oh, no, not like that. Maybe I need to get rid of that one. Cool. Okay, and then I think I'm going to put a splash over this. So instead of making this shape splash, what I'm thinking I'll do instead is draw another splash so that looks like it's a part of the same shape, but then that gives me a bit more control. We'll come right in and we'll flatten this one here. There we go, flatten it, and then in this frame it will be gone. So what I like to do to make shapes disappear when I want to still use the shape layer is I just turn the opacity down, and that will get rid of it. It will allow me to stack other shapes on. Okay, let me just see what that looks like. I might have to change the curve. Okay, so we're getting there. I think I do need to put more of a curve in for the splash, because I'm not... Once it leaves the glass, yeah, like that doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to have to fix that. But the rest I think is okay. Could afford to be maybe a bit faster. But let's fix it up a bit first, because it looks like everything got moved down a bit. I'm not sure how. I must have moved it instead of the path, which is a little annoying. But I can just, I think, pop that back up again. Okay. So yeah, I think the wine path itself needs a lot more of a bend in it. If this becomes a bit too complicated, I might pass it into Illustrator, because drawing in After Effects isn't the nicest of experiences. But it does kind of keep it simple for the time being. But because I've got Overlord, I can kind of get between them pretty easily. That might be a bit too quickly there. So I move this down and across. Yeah, I think that might help a bit more. Let's check it. Okay. We're almost there. I just think it's maybe a bit long on the bend now. Like it's got too much of a backside. Let's check that. Cool. I like it. I now think let's just speed it up a little bit. Yeah. Sploosh! Almost. We gotta have that splash. Okay. I'm happier with that though. I think that looks reasonably okay for being one shape. We'll add a few more drops and it should help, and then I'm gonna add that splash. Thank you. Okay, let's add that splash. So we need to, on this frame when it's hit, let's make some drops. I like to make drops by making a circle, breaking the path, and then taking one of the points and just sharpening the edge, and then I'll pop it out, and then it's got this nice little teardrop shape. And we'll scale that down. I'm gonna want that to come from kind of the middle of where this is splashing out of. And again, we only want this shape to appear from this frame. So I'm gonna tell the opacity to be at 0, and then I toggle hold the keyframe, which just means it holds instead of changes over time. So it's always constantly on 0 until I pop this up at 100. And we're gonna edit the path, just in case I want to bend that. And then we're gonna have the splash come out and rotate a bit. We want it up, so it goes up, and then we want it to come back down again. So we've got a splash, and then we will flatten this as well. As it all kind of just goes into the floor. And then that frame, turn off the opacity again. So now we've got a little drop that comes out like that. Boop. That's part of the splash. Now we need to do the other side, which we may just be able to flip. I'm hoping. So let's take the center point and put it roughly in the middle of where we want our splash to be. We press duplicate. Animation secrets. Splashing. So I studied animation at university, and splashes were one of the first things that they kind of went through, as well as walk cycles. Animation courses vary depending on what you did. Ours was kind of a traditional one. So we spent the first year on light boxes with paper. And yeah, it was interesting kind of teaching, like the thing about splashes that I'm going to get to is that they kind of happen and then they happen again, which you don't really think about unless you're animating them, but it really looks weird when there's not like a second splash, because they kind of, in the way that jelly kind of has lots of residual wobbles to it, it doesn't just wobble once, the water kind of does a similar thing. We want to flip this. Oh, wrong way, but almost. There it is. So we've got that, and then this is going to be slightly too high, so let's give it the old rotate so that it's stuck on the floor. There we go. And now we've got a drop on either side, and what we're going to do to make it a little bit less even is I'm just going to move the one we've just done a frame to the left so that they're slightly offset. So we've got those coming out. So that's our residual splash. What we need is like kind of what I was saying, the second one now. So when our wine flattens, which is here, I'm going to make just a circle rather than a drop. And that is going to just come out from the middle and come down again reasonably quickly. And we're just, instead of doing the path, because we'll probably keep this one a circle, we're going to just animate the position. And I might just pop the scale on there in case we want to make it a bit longer. Oh, but then we also need the opacity, because it was invisible before this point, so we pop it on 0, tell After Effects to hold that keyframe, and then at this point it's visible, so we turn that on. We're going to go 4 frames instead of 3 this time, and we're going to go Oh, up, which apparently is at an angle because of all of my rotations. So we're going to go up fairly straight. And then we're going to go down. And at this point, we're going to disappear. Oh, that's scale. I meant that one. So I think I'm going to ease these keyframes. So we've got this up and down. And even though it's just a circle, it already kind of adds a little bit extra, I think. I think what I might do is keep that little wine puddle around for a bit longer so it's got something to go back into. Or maybe I'll just put the stain in the actual main comp so that there's a bit of a wine stain and then that can dry up over time. In fact, let's just double check that where this stain would be. Okay, cool. So it's very visible. So I can draw a stain in here and then that will have a place to disappear into, basically. Just making sure that it's not gone off the screen and I'm doing all this for no reason. Okay. And then we just want, just to complete it, when the circle comes back down, just 2 new drops that are reasonably small. So we're going to come right in. We're going to make some more drops. Yeah, it's gonna just come out here. And we need the opacity for this. And then this little drop is gonna just do a very similar thing to what the other ones did before it. Oh, no, oh, so many points now. And then we're just gonna flatten it. And then turn it off. And then we're gonna duplicate it for the other side. Just the shape, not the entire wine. It's because I'm on the transform, that's why. There we go, duplication. We're gonna pop the rotation point there. And then we're gonna flip it. And then at the point where it goes into the line, we're gonna just give it a rotation so it's facing the floor. There we go. And then we're going to offset it again. Nice. So we're going to come all the way back out. And now we've got this splash going on, which I think looks pretty good. The poor wine, such a waste. And like I said, we'll add the stain in the other composition just in case I do any weird movementy things. Nice. the last thing I think I'll add before I move on is I'm happy with the splash. I think I'm gonna add a little few drops coming out of the wine glass. So we can hide the second half. This will all be in the first half, I think. Oh, maybe partly in the second half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll have it start here. So let's make another little drop. And let's drag it and rotate it a bit. So I think this one can come from down here. So it comes out. And then to make it easier on myself, I'm going to have it come back into the stream. So we've just got a little drop there. And I'm hoping that will just help. It's very quick, but I'm hoping it will just help sell that it's liquid. And then we'll do it on the other one as well. We'll have a little drop come out of the other side. That seems like a good place to start. I'm just going to give this a slightly different direction. I think that will work. Now we've just got a few more drops. Let's just say it's been absorbed into the colour of his coat. Cool. Okay, so that might be one of the hard parts over. And I think you're right, Penguin Queen. You mentioned about doing the back arm as a little little flap. I think that might work. Because now that the wine's in, there's a lot going on here. Cool. Obviously, his expression needs to change as well. Maybe after this happens, he looks in the glass and is like, "What? This is outrageous." So let's see if I can do that flat, because it would be nice to like have a few frames on top of each other so it looked a bit cartoony. So I think it should probably come in about here. We do have a back wing. Ready. So I think we come in like that. So, whoa! And then we return it back to position. Let's just see what that looks like on its own. Well, oh, I actually really like that. I think that works quite well. Wow. Yeah. I think it helps. Let me take that blue line away. I think it really helps kind of keep him looking in line, if that makes sense. It doesn't make him look too back heavy. Because he's a bird, he does have this terrific booty. And I think it helps him look a little less back heavy. Also, the expression, let's get that done, and then we've pretty much nailed this bit. I think his eye needs to... his pupil needs to dilate or something. Where is his eye? There's his eye. Let's come in so that you guys can see his beautiful face. So we could just scale it in, but I think, hear me out, I'm gonna scale it up and then have another circle wipe on to kind of make that white, which I think will make him look like he's a bit afraid. And then wipe back to normal. Whack. So if I make this one like the same color as his face, and we start the scale of this one at 0 because it's not visible, and we make it about like there. And I haven't really done this before, so I'm wondering how it's going to look. Yeah! I think that could work. I definitely think he looks freaked out. I don't know if he looks too freaky. What do you guys think? Is that too freaky? I know, there's that red rectangle that won't be visible. It's because it's the face. Let me turn that off. There we go. Is that too freaky? Or is that the right amount of freaky? Heckin' spooked. Indeed. Let's see what he looks like. See if I have to move it up. Oh, it's not the right amount. Excellent. I think it needs to come down. Like, I need to just move everything down a couple of frames. So the start should be here. Because I haven't animated anything else, I'm just going to move the layers over and then extend them out because I've got that split, which will be annoying to move otherwise. There we go. Let's move them down. And then just extend those back because I need to move those. So now I think that's the right, yeah, that's the right place. And I think that's the right amount of jump in there as well. Like it thinks, I feel like he is reacting to it. We have a wine spill, everybody. We've done it. It's taken us an hour, but we've done it. Oh, let's hope that filling the glass doesn't take as long. Let me get that puddle drawn as well, so I feel like I can safely say that it's done. Okay. We're gonna want this to be this color. And let's give it a couple of circles so add a bit of interest. And let's try and just scale those up, I think. Oh, the center points aren't in there. Okay, let's instead just increase the size over time. Because I want it to be that big at that point. But probably non-existent at these points. So the smaller circle... Ah, interesting. I'm going to need to make the bigger one a little higher up, it seems. And then that's not the smaller one. I think we just move the smaller one over and we'll have that come in here, I think. Oh, again. Let's move that up. I think that needs to come in a bit earlier. Yeah, honestly, it kind of works separate. Yeah, and then we've got... Oh, we might want to bring that in just a teeny smidge because you can't see the residual splashes very well. And then... Aha, okay. I might just make them a bit higher as well. Because I kind of like the shape that was at. Okay, so they just need to be higher, but I'm digging the puddle shape. Let's go back to these little splashes. Here they are. You little guys need to be slightly higher up. Nice. Okay, so this one first. We're gonna just go all the way up here. Cool. And now I'm assuming there'll be... Yeah, there they go. Just need to add a bit more of a rotation now that they're higher up. We're just having a little bit of a wiggle. Yeah. Fantastic. Nice. No one will know that I've spent a lot of time on this one little section. And I think it looks pretty fab. Hitting the survey button, which I have been doing during, by the way. I've been very good today. Where are we? Here we go. Okay. So we've just knocked that out. I think we're gonna want to rotate the face or move the face, maybe? To like look at the wine. That looks a bit weird because it just looks like the beak's moving. Position, maybe. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's a bit of a derpy face, but I think considering he's quite a cute little bird, he can get away with that. We're gonna have another play with the eye. We're gonna come in and be like, what is this? He does look annoyed. That's a hell of a face right there. I think what I might do as well is if I make sure that I don't fully rotate it back to its upright position, then I can do that here, and I think that will help really emphasize that he's looking at the glass. Offset it slightly. Then I want to say here, but it looks very close to where the second jolt is. Let's move that back up. Got that. Now let's see if I can make sure that these are timed properly. Oh, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, that's probably where I want it. Does he need to look down before the squint? Let's try it. I think that could work. I think that just needs to be quicker. Better or worse? Better or worse? I think it looks okay, but I'm kind of happy with either. I think maybe the delay is good. I think you might be right there, Penguin Queen. Oh no! Oh, have you guys lost me, or am I still live? Am I back? Am I back, everybody? Sorry about that. OBS decided it needed a bit of a break. I'm gonna wait until I have confirmation that I am back. I've seen that my message has popped up on my OBS, but I'm not sure if that's working there. It's back! Hooray! Again, apologies. It has been a little bit unstable today for some reason, but hopefully we won't have that too much. The stream hasn't been breaking up or anything, like it's been pretty clear. It's hard to say whether it's been stuttery because After Effects is kind of stuttery by nature. But is this smooth? Just looking down what I'm doing now. This is relatively smooth. I'm gonna have to hope that it is because we've got one more hour of this. Looks good, sweet. Thank you for confirming again. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna just have him reach after this jolt. And I think what I'm gonna do, because it really seemed to help, is the rotation of his toes. Like that really seemed to help with the jump, and also that just giving the body a bit of a jolt as well. Oh yeah, and I moved it down considerably, didn't I? Okay. It was a little too extreme. Yeah, that helps already, but then the knee bend is, I think, also necessary. So before I forget that I've moved this, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this in all of those frames. It's slightly askew from the frame because of how I ended up scaling it, but there we go. Okay, cool. That should be done. And then from here we're gonna have to take the body. Oh, we're gonna just lower the position slightly so we get that sweet knee bend. And we're gonna come back up. There we go. What I might do then is have the toes come up suddenly. I think that might look interesting. Maybe a bit too quick. No, I think that's okay. It does look a little like a little hop. And then I think I just need to pop that in at all of them, and then I've got that sorted as well. Good old copy paste. It's gonna have to be copy paste this time because I'm probably gonna be putting keyframes in the middle, so I can't loop it. There we go. Got a little bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Okay, so in this little time, we're gonna reach for the wine bottle. Which means moving this back wing again. Okay, so that's also open 2 screens because I'm gonna need to reach. Which means I'm gonna have to see what I'm reaching for. It's not your day, Frank. There we are. So I'm gonna need, that's the one that's locked. Perfect. I'm gonna need to come in here. And I think we can rotate the body as well. To get him a bit closer. Yes, I think we can probably move the position over a bit and pop him on one leg. It's his time to shine. Welcome, Scott. Coming in. Well, we need that arm to be considerably higher as well. There it is. We're almost there. Just a little bit more. I think that's probably enough, but we could probably get him like a little bit more in there. And then we'll pop him on one leg. Like that. So he goes, ooh, need to reach. That needs to be on a curve though. Nice. The left, yeah, like it's kind of all about trying to balance him. So if he's leaning, he's got to have something on his other side coming in there, I think. And then after that, I think I can have... I think that should be okay. If I reset him... Oh, no. There we go. Want to bend that like that. Just want it to retrace where it went. There we go. Let's bring it on back. And then except the wing, which will need to kind of come down. It still needs to be pretty high up. And in preparation, I think we're going to move this other arm down. And maybe back. I'm going to give myself a bit of room. Yeah, maybe. I think this one can be a lot quicker. Yeah, that might help. And then at this point, we have the bottle of wine. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to pop it in front of the wing. So it's like he comes round like he's in front, or maybe I'll do it slightly earlier so that it goes behind. Looks a bit weird with the table though, doesn't it? Okay, maybe I'll leave it here for now because it's going to be in the middle of motion. I think that should help it. And then I need to connect this to the wing in the other comp, which I can do with the Do It plugin. It needs to be Count Burbington. And what is my layer called? Wing back. And now it should hopefully move. Oh, almost. Did I not connect it? Yeah! Okay, it's connected. But I'm gonna, like, give it a little bit of a shove into his hand a bit more, if that makes sense. We've got to watch that wine glass, which could be a bit of a thing. Like I said at the beginning, there might be a bit of trial and error on this one. But we'll get there. Okay. So we are gonna just give that a bit of a shove down. And he's got it. He's got it in his hand. Oh, nope. I wanted to zoom into this one. Just a little bit, because it will play over here, won't it? So how does that look? Okay, maybe a little bit slow. It's a lot of movement for a simple character. Thank you. It is. I think the movement is there. It looks a bit weird with just the jump because that's gonna go with the lightning bolt, but I think I just need to speed it up a bit. Which I'm gonna do my very best to not just time remap it, because that's not really... It's not really what I should be doing in the middle. That'll just keep things messy. Oh yeah, I didn't move the leg. Okay, we'll move the leg. That's a nice speed on the wing though. Let's move that leg. And the body. Just move the arms. There we go. Aha! I think I've fixed it. Ah, he's swiped that bottle. He's got it. I mean, I gotta make him put it back as well, but we got it. Okay. We might have to move that arm even further back. We'll see how much room we need as I rotate this bottle round. Cool, so that center point is 100% not where I want it. In that case, because I've got keyframes on this, I'm gonna make a little null for it. And I'm aware that I need to connect this to the wing before I connect this here. We'll call it Y null. And it's not the tidiest of nulls, but I really just need the point here because that's where his wing is. No, not that low. Come on, stay with me, After Effects. There we go. So the rotation won't come from here, but it will come from here. And then he's gonna want to pour the wine. Ah, now interesting because it's the same color. I'm gonna need something. I'm just gonna put a stroke on it for now. It might be a drop shadow or something else. But for now, I'm just gonna put a stroke. Just so that I can see where that bottle is. And that's where we need the glass to be. I think to an extent as well. I think I could probably get away with zhushing it over a tiny bit. Because he has very tiny arms. Up and... yeah, I think that is okay. So... let's move his little arm back and see if that looks okay and not horrendous. Front. Could the bottle be lower in his hand? Lower. What do you mean lower? Helps with the spinning being closest to the glass. So you mean just lower here? Like that? Because maybe. Sweet. Let's see what that would look like. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then the spinning. Ooh, yeah! Because I don't mind moving it back a bit. I think it needs to come forward a little bit as well. So it's properly in there, and then we go spin. I think that'll be okay. It's just a little bit further now, Count Burberton, and you'll get your wine. Because with the bottle being in shot, I think it's gonna look less very weird. Just a tiny bit. Oh. Somewhere between there and there. And then there's not a lot of room for me to, you know, pour the wine. Oh yeah, because, you know, I don't want it to be a huge length, because that's going to be a whole ordeal. Alright, picks up the wine. And pours it. And we're in time for another lightning strike, so that's going to be quite fun. Yeah, and I think maybe I'll do like a little nod, because I know I've got a bit of a break, but I kind of like that it's timed for when he's doing a little jump again. So I can add a little nod in. We are almost there. Another pour. Alright, let's see. I think that the pour can be relatively simple. But I think, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I think this is going a lot better than I anticipated. So for the wine, we're going to find this first wine layer. We're going to duplicate that. And we're going to pop it here. I'm going to remove all of the keyframes before, because that's all to do with pouring things out. I'm going to get rid of that drop. And then that will need to be there for the rest of the frame. And then in order to fill this up, all I'm going to do is create a rectangle on a different layer. And this is going to be our mat. I'm going to just call it pour mat. I like to just kind of give it no colour, because then I can identify my mats at a glance. So I'm going to need to somewhat match the angle that this is at. I'm not too bothered if it's slightly off. That looks okay. I'm gonna make it slightly taller so that I know it can 100% cover the wine. And then I'm gonna move this rectangle up over time. I think I'm gonna also, for good measure, parent it to the wine so that it doesn't move in any weird ways. And then we'll turn it off, and we'll set the one beneath it to alpha mat. And then that will pour up. So I'm just going to make sure that that is as high as it should be, because I'm a little suspicious of it. There we go. Let's make sure it's at the top. Ta-da! So there's the glass filling. No problem, we just need a little bit coming out of the bottle. Oh, was this a kind of slow descent there, or did I make that up? It does move down a bit slow, but I think I can fix that here. Yeah, why is that there? Why is that there? Ah, I see. That's because of this. Looks a bit slow. Let's see if we can do this on this layer. Because then I can attach it to the bottle. I'm basically going to want something along the lines of this shape. We'll call it wine. What is this shape layer? This is... Ah, this is the puddle. I was like, I didn't name a layer. We'll pop it under the bottle. And then we'll parent it to the bottle so that we don't have any mess ups with the way it moves. Gonna give these corners a bit of a rounded edge. And then I'm gonna wipe it on, like, in a similar way to how I've wiped on the other part. And then wipe it off. Because I've got a wine in here now, I'm just going to quickly call this bottle so I don't get confused. And this is going to be my mat. And then before I do the animation, I should probably parent that mat to the wine bottle so it moves as it should move. And we'll get through this little curvy bit. And then if I alpha that, we should have a pour. Nice, but we just need to make sure that this time's up. So let's go back into Count Burbington. Move the pour back a little bit, and hopefully now we'll have... Oh, is that a bit too far back? It is a little too far back. Or is it? I think I just need to extend this a bit further. Yeah, it'd be nice to have it start coming in on this frame, wouldn't it? Oof, slightly early. Easy does it. There we go. And then we cut the wine off. And then we can maybe reset the wine bottle. Flip it back around. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Pour. Oh, there's a little bit of a glitch, but other than that, it's looking okay. And that's because it's turning with the wine bottle, isn't it? So that needs to... I see, so that needs to be fully gone before that turns. I think we're almost there. I think I can obviously neaten that up a little bit because it does just stop. I think it needs a drop on it. But because I'm looking at the time, because I have to finish this up at 12, I'm gonna plow on and pop the wine back on the table. And I'm hoping I can achieve that by using pretty much the same keyframes as before. So the body moves, the foot here moves, this back arm will move. So we can copy those back up. And the body. And this arm. And we'll make sure that we don't spill this in a second. And then at this point, we'll switch the layer back out to that wine bottle we had in the first place. And it should hopefully be back on the table. Nice. And then before I play it, I just want to move this front wing back into position because it is quite far away. Oh, I've just realised that I may have lost all my data from it before. That's gonna affect the splash. Hold on a second, that'll help me put it back. Oh, when did that happen? Okay. You would have been roughly here. Never mind. Fixing it now. Yeah. Thank you, Tal. Welcome back. I don't know how long you've been back for. Definitely not. Thank you for popping back. Either way, even if it's sneaky. Okay. So is that properly fixed now? Yes. That looks better. Okay, good. I thought I broke it. Everything's fine. It's not broken. This back arm will need to then go back into the beyond. Wherever it came from. Back down. And around. Out of the way. Putting it back, and we're getting rid of the arm. And then he should be reset. Phew! My goodness me. This was ambitious. Alright, we've got a little jump. We've got this little line, which I'm going to deal with in a little second if this is all good. Fill up the wine and pop it back. And we act like nothing happened. How are people finding it? I think that looks great. I'm very happy with that. Considering this is a very limiting puppet. Yeah, thank you, Penguin Queen. Thank you, Scott. Excellent. Okay. Now with this line, so I think it obviously needs to be there. But only over the jacket to like separate it. So having a think. For now I'm gonna use the count as a mat, which will include the wing, but when I'm done with the count's animation, what I'm thinking is I can duplicate the animation and just have the cape in there, so that will be a mat, but I don't want to do that before I finish the animation or it could not line up. If that makes sense, because the wine has a mat, but the wine bottle doesn't have a mat. So if we were to alpha mat that, duplicate the bottle and get rid of the stroke, the stroke's only going to be where the count is. But I obviously don't want it on the wing. So the idea is when the animation is done, it will just be the cape. Because I don't think it's already pre-comped for the count, because some of them I do, but the count is just, his cape is just a shape layer. So for now it's going to look a bit wonky because of the wing, but I think that will help it be seen. And then we pop that back. Whew, okay, and also that puddle needs to slowly fade out of existence so that the loop works. But we do have a lot of time. I think 10 seconds is a very long time for something to fade out of its own accord. So that shouldn't draw too much attention. I thought about the puddle always being there, but I kind of like... I mean, it could be. I kind of like the way it comes on with the splash. Like, I think it makes it less obvious. So I think it just evaporating over the course of 10 seconds isn't too much. I think it just helps the splash when it comes up. We need to do a bit more with the Count's expressions, give him a bit of a nod at one point. And then he's got this residual bounce for the rest of it. I think a lot of it, maybe, I mean, he hasn't taken a sip yet. I think he's earned a sip of his wine. The poor thing. So we'll do that. I think I can get that done in 15 minutes. I don't think that, I think out of everything I've done today, a sip of wine, that's the easiest thing. I've decided to work with a ton of liquids. And I think I'm just going to check, because I haven't checked that his bounces are all timed. I think they are, because I did move it around a bit at the start, and I may have messed it up. So I just want to get this going, so we can check that his bounces are all on time. That one's good. We get the wine. Pour the wine. And then we take a sip of the wine. And that bounce is okay. That bounce is okay. And there's one more. Bam! Okay. He's getting there. He's almost there. I want to put a nod in there and then... Let's take a sip. Take a sip of wine. Right, we're gonna have to move that arm up a bit. And honestly, a little bit further out to get that nice sippy angle. Oh, no, we're not throwing it again. They're not... And I think this will be the one time that I put a little curve on this. Count, your arms are so tiny. This is also on the glass. Good. Throws the wine into his face. He'd never learned. Yeah, I was like, this will be the easy part. And I'm like, oh, is it though? There's such a distance between his little hands and his face. I might do the thing that we did for Frank. I might just bring his neck down a little bit. I'm not sure if it would be too weird. It's a little bit silly. Wow. But I think he's gonna have to deal with that. Because I can push this a little bit further. Yeah. And then we would do like a long sip. And then we'll close his eye as well. Oh, that's got a little bit of a jolt to it. We're gonna hold those keyframes. Sip. It's a little sillier than I wanted. But I can accept that. I think I'm gonna have to. Okay, let's close this eye. Where is that eye layer? Here it is. Let's duplicate this again. Let's turn the fill off. Give it a stroke. Let's delete that and then unclose that. And round off those edges. Got the eye closing then. Whoop. There we go. Sip. Sip. I love it. Maybe this needs to be a little bit longer. I think the sip could be a teeny bit longer. Sip! Hopefully this should remind everybody to hydrate. Sip. Yeah! And then let's go back. There was that one bit where I wanted to add a nod here. When he's holding the wine. Because I think I want that eye to blink there as well. Sending out all the player accepted messages. Hell yeah! Whoop, 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 whoop! Good work, Tal. If you've signed up to be a player for the Roll for Good Halloween stream, then hopefully you'll be hearing from Tal. Or someone else, one of the other coordinators. Let's see if I can give him a little nod. We'll sort out the beak because I know it's a little bit far away. Interesting. Nod. It's also a bit more extreme than I'd want anyway in terms of nods. We'll take that all the way back. The Count is a man of subtlety, I think. Yeah, a bit better. I think what might help sell it is if I move the neck a bit as well. Yeah, oh, that's so much better. I accept this wine. And then the eye can open around here. So... let's have a look at him actually with everything together. He's got the wine. Spills the wine. Is upset that he's spilt the wine. And then we pick up the wine. We nod in approval of the wine. And then we pour the wine. Slap that wine back on the table and take a little sip. And then I think what would be cool is if I have like some red on the fangs that just drip into the cup. Boop boop. Nice. Good to go, this has been heckin' cool. Have fun, stay hydrated, and thank you so much for all your heart. Thank you, Tao. Have a good rest of the weekend. I love him so much. Approval nod is great. Thank you, Penguin Queen. Yeah, that's definitely worked out in my favor. So if I want that fang to work correctly, I think all I need to do is just give it a little bit more of a rotate on the glass so that both of those fangs are in the glass. So that we've got that. It comes in. There we go. They are both covered now. So I can have the red come in. Ooh, I'm looking at the time. Let me just check if I can go a little bit longer. Yeah, screw it. It won't take me long. I'm gonna rush. I'm gonna rush these little fangs. Gonna get it done. This wine, definitely not blood. Can start there, and then obviously it needs to be parented to the face with the rest of it, but it needs to be below the wine glass so that it can appear. There we go. No wait, that's the wine. That's what happens when you don't immediately name your layers. And then we're in. Ooh, it's ever so slightly just off here, isn't it? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a mat for this and then have that slowly come off, and then I'll have some drips just drop down on a different layer, I think. Fang wine. I'm gonna just turn down the opacity so I can see the fangs behind it. There we go. Oh, that does need to be connected to something that's connected to the fangs. Makes the most sense. Because we've got those little jolts. Let's turn that off. And then they just drain. Excellent. And then about midway draining, we'll get a little drop on them. So I'm going to make a little drop like I did before. And we'll pop that on the face, so if I've got any jolting, which I probably will. So it can come off like that. then we will drop that in. And then let's see if that looks okay. Yeah. Bloop. And then we just need to do the same on the other one. And we will offset it slightly. Nice. And it's just a nice little extra detail, isn't it? I think it really helps, considering the sip itself had to be a little bit of a compromise. Nice! I'm happy with that. We are like so close to being there. Unfortunately, I don't have much more time for the stream today to add the shaking of the objects and the smoke in the vent, but it is still on my list and it will definitely get added in. But here's just the final playthrough of what we've got so far. Let me just... There we go. Let's full screen that. So it's very almost there, everyone. I'm just got a few, maybe like an hour or two's more work on it today, and then it's done. But I'm so happy to see the Count moving. He feels alive. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very pleased with this one. I think this is my favourite one. I know it's been a bit more of a concentrated stream today, less chatty. It's just because I know that I had a quick stream today, and I know that I've got a lot to get done, so I hope that it didn't sound like, you know, I hope that wasn't too much of a problem. But it's been really fun. This has gone better than I anticipated. He does look great. I love him so much. I hope everybody else loves him too, because, yeah, that was a lot of that was a lot of effort. But I think it pays off, because if it looks smooth, it doesn't draw the eye, then I think it does its job. Yeah, I like his little loop. I'll add a bit more face in him for the bit that he's still, I think. But otherwise, we're pretty much there. Things need to jiggle on the table, smoke needs to come out the spider monster, and the Count needs to emote. And I think that's all I'm going to add. Thank you all for joining the stream. There won't be a stream next week, as I'm unavailable. But the weekend after that is the Roll for Good Halloween Hijinks, which you should totally go over to their channel and follow if you're not already. Be hyped. It's going to be super good. And then after that, we'll see where I am with the stream. Maybe I'll go with the Tiefling project again. Maybe there's a few other things that I need to be doing, so maybe I'll be streaming some of that. Maybe some illustration. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out together in November. But thank you all for joining. Thank you all once again for your amazing suggestions. It really adds something, I think. I think you guys have super cool ideas. Thank you! I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the stream. So yeah, I will be on the Roll for Good stream at the 1 o'clock mark. So you can see me on Roll for Good's channel Sunday the 31st of October at 1 o'clock for some glitter hearts, some Halloween themed magical girl goodness. But then after that, I should be back on this channel with some project on the 7th of November. So you can come join me then. I don't think it'll be Burbs at that point anymore, but we will be doing some form of tabletop related Twitch graphics or animation or illustration. it's going to be good. But have a good rest of your day. Thank you for joining. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.